Peter, you was a diamond fella in the prison, he says. But, you know, I respect everybody. I respect everybody in all walks of life, all religions. I respect all people. You're not better than anybody. I don't care if you're a superstar. I don't care if you're a trillionaire. You're not better than anybody.
No.
You're not better than...
Is it really worth it? Is in a beautiful, beautiful building this morning with the legend Peter Fury. How are you, Peter?
I'm good, thank you, Sean. Nice to see you, mate.
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'd like to just thank our sponsors, Semilong Services, S&D Paving, Spartan Property Services and Fortune Favours Productions. Thank you very much. We're going to take you through a little insight into the man himself. Peter, should we start from the beginning?
You start wherever you want. You fire the questions. I'll try and answer them the best I can.
Birthplace?
Dewsbury, Yorkshire.
Dewsbury, just outside Manchester?
No, it's Leeds way. That way, Bradford, Leeds, it's all around them areas. Wakefield, Yorkshire.
I always thought it was Manchester.
No, we moved to Manchester when I was about 13. But no, I'm not from Dewsbury. I was born there, but that was I was only there for 2 or 3 days, and we moved on. So I'm not from there.
Right.
We're travellers, you see.
Yeah, travelling family. Yeah,
exactly. So we must have been around that area at the time, and I was born there, and then we moved on again.
Beautiful place, Dewsbury.
Yeah, England's all beautiful. It's a very pretty country, isn't it?
But Manchester's a beautiful place as well. Like we were just saying.
Yeah, it is.
Manchester's a cracking place.
Yeah, you got Manchester, which comes under Lancashire, and you got Cheshire, all around the suburbs of Manchester and Lancashire. You know, the scenery doesn't get any better there.
Yeah.
It's an island, isn't it? It's a green island. You know, we've got the most green here, and an island itself. I think there have got to be the 2 greenest places on the planet.
I do like a bit of Ireland.
Yeah.
I do love a bit of Ireland. Yeah, but definitely. You've got Irish descent in you as well, haven't you?
Irish descent, yeah, it goes... I think it's a long way back, but it's there, obviously, up with the surname and stuff. But I was born here. My father was born here. And I'm not so sure about my grandfather. He might have been born here, or he might have been born there, but it's a fair way back.
Yeah. Lovely place. Close to my heart.
It is. I've been a few times. It's a very nice place.
Yeah.
Nice people as well.
Oh. Some of the people are some of the best you'll ever meet. But some of them the same as anywhere really, Pete. I think. Yeah. Good and bad in everybody.
Unfortunately, we've seen more bad than good today. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of nice people and a lot of good people still.
Yeah.
There is.
So what was your school, your education and that, Peter?
I went on and off from 5 till I was 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had an extensive education.
Extensive. But so you've educated yourself through life skills, really? Through
life skills, yeah. I had a personal tutor, I think, when I was 11 or 12, and she was a lovely lady. But that was because we were settled in one place for quite a while, and I had to have this tutor because my father and my mother was going to get fined or something. Anyway, so I had to sit down and have this tutor, but she was very good, and she lent me some basic skills to do a little bit of reading and writing and stuff. So even from a young age, I could write my name and stuff like that, but I was no scholar. And then as the years went on, I don't know, looking at signposts on the road and stuff like that, I picked up how to read and stuff, so a little bit self-educated. But I did have that teacher when I was 11 or 12 did help me a lot.
But I think one of the advantages of a travelling background, you're introduced to work very early.
Yeah, as little as... like I said, after about 8 years of age, 9, I went out with my mother and father, and they put us to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think if the country was like that now, with that mentality for most of the country, we'd have a great country again.
I think we still can. It's never too late. But you are right what you're saying, Sean. The kids today, they can just do what they want. They can back answer their parents. You can't clip them up the ear. You can't do anything. So, between rock and a hard place, there's too many do-gooders out there too many simpletons out there running things.
Yeah.
That's the
And
bottom
no
line.
discipline.
No discipline. Listen, I had plenty of smacks, plenty of kicks, and when I got to about 11 or 12, I had plenty of punches as well. Not punches off my father, but I had plenty of from elsewhere. And, listen, hard knocks of life does no young fella any harm. Definitely
No,
not.
none at all. So, how many in the family? How many brothers and sisters?
I had 4 brothers and I had no sisters.
So plenty of tear-ups.
I would not much with family, but we was always having squabbles with others. Yeah.
So,
But as a sport, there was nothing vindictive. There was no wars like you see, gangs and all of this. We just go and have a bit of a straightening around the corner, and that'd be, it was more or less of a sport. But we used to always love the boxing and having bits of fights with the kids in the villages and stuff like that. And we'd have like a few little competitions and stuff, and we'd always have black eyes and busted noses on a daily on a daily thing. Some you win, some you lose, but that's just the way it is.
So, what age were you introduced to the boxing?
Oh, from very young. My father was always into the boxing. He never boxed nothing like that, but his family was involved heavily.
Yeah.
So when my father was a young man growing up, he had a first cousin who'd done a lot of boxing, and he had uncles who boxed. So my father's always been in and around boxing somewhere.
Yeah.
So obviously when we were little kids, he'd tell us stories and stuff. We used to listen to the fights on the radio in the early 70s. I remember that. And just stuff like that, really. So we'd always be in and around it all our lives, basically.
I remember listening to the Fraser Ali fight as a kid
same.
on the radio. Brilliant. But I used to like the radio back then because you got a feel of the fight.
Of course you did. The radio was better.
Yeah, it was a different kind of fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was the first.
So are you similar age to me, Sean? I'm 56.
59.
So you're 59. Yeah, so they're all the same eras anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, radios, yeah.
Yeah,
black and white TVs.
Black and white tellies with a 50 pence for the bag. I used to empty that every week.
Where's them memories, John? I remember going with my mother and father, and I think it could have been Asda or Morrison's. I can't remember which store. It's been a good few years. I was only a little kid. And I seen the first computer, and there was a square dot going up and down on the screen like that, remember?
Yeah, with the tennis.
Yeah, I couldn't stop looking at it.
Yeah. I still can't work them now.
Me as well.
So, boxing pretty early. Much of an amateur career, Peter?
No, nothing like that. I didn't. Went to a lot of gyms all around the countries and stuff, participated, but, I didn't do... We never actually done a lot of boxing because we wasn't in one place long enough.
I was just going to say, a lot of very talented travelling boys I've known, they just nick little bits from the times they've got in that area from the gyms.
It's a time. It's how you brought up. It's there's a lot of things, and I think why a lot of our culture now is doing so well because the parents of my generation has made it possible because they've got places, they've settled down, and then the children can go to clubs and remain there and have a stable environment, and that's why you see a lot of the young travelling people doing very well in boxing. But in my day, it was a lot different.
Yeah. The Michael Maguire's, phenomenal fighter. Michael was.
Of course, there's some excellent fighters.
Some unbelievable.
Some excellent young amateurs coming through as well.
Yeah, and I think it's opening up more so now because the old ABAs and all of that, they were a little bit, they want their own boys in the mix, do you know what I mean? But now it's getting much more even. It's a level playing field for everybody now.
I think there's got to be 50-60% of travellers now in the amateurs.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
There is.
And myself, personally, Peter, when I had my gym, I'd rather the travelling boys have a much bigger percentage in my gym because it brought, you want to call it the culture boys, it brought the other lads up with them. Because they were a little bit more talented and courageous is the word I'm looking for. It brought the other kids in the gym along so quickly. And I used to... but the kids... You know what it's like with kids. It's hard for them to understand your vision when they're getting hidings handed to them, most times they spar and they're thinking, well, this ain't help, but they don't see how much it is helping them.
But back in the day, you know, when we was younger, because we never really stopped with a lot of travellers when we was younger, because every time we stopped with travellers, we'd end up arguing with them. So my father always used to move us away, and we grew up basically a lot by ourselves. And you know, we used to find it the opposite. You know, the travellers that have plenty to say when we was younger, but couldn't really back it up. But the normal kids, like in these pit villages or something, was really rough. They could have a proper fight. You know what I mean? And it was all in the boxing gym. So that was the difference back then. Because again, a lot of travellers, they wasn't in the gyms. A lot of travellers back in my day, they wasn't trained in the boxing and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They was tough lads. They knew what they was doing, but like boxing's a different matter, isn't it?
We've got some great kids round where we're from. There's a little lad called Lewis Fuller. Absolutely phenomenal talent. Absolutely amazing, this kid
I think there is now. There's some great talent around everywhere now, not just in England, but everywhere now.
Yeah. I think with this era of computers and like everyone, I can go on them computers and look at someone in Brazil now or you know, like Mexico and watch the gyms in Mexico. You could never do that back in our day.
Well, the world's in your front room now, isn't it?
Yeah, right at your fingertips.
Exactly.
If you know how to use them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So your teenage years and that, Peter. How old were you when you first started working in that, like proper into your own work?
Good question. 13, 14. Probably around there, yeah. Yeah, a young age anyway.
Yeah.
It would be. Yeah. Because I got married at 16, so yeah, at least 2 or 3 years before that. So always, doing plenty of work.
Yeah, so you've occupied yourself with positive from a young age, you know what I mean? You've been disciplined really, Peter.
Well, I didn't know anything else because my mother and father, they put us to work, and that was our culture. And it wasn't just me, that was all the travelling communities. You know, we all done the same thing back then in my day. So all the young lads, and I don't know about the girls, but you know, we had no girls in our family, so I can't really speak. But all the young travelling lads of the day, when we was growing up, we all did the same thing.
Yeah.
Was put to work.
So you're working, you're in and out of the boxing gyms.
We lived in and out of boxing gyms, yeah, everywhere. Everywhere we went, we found a boxing gym.
Yeah. So you're always kind of you've still got the fingers like in the boxing while you're working.
Yeah, all the way through, even through my married life as well. You know, when we was younger, we always used to hit the gyms and stuff. Always with a boxing, always with a set of gloves, always sparring up and down and this and that. It was just, that's how it was.
Gum shield everywhere with you.
Yeah. But, a lot of it, yeah.
I used to take mine on holiday with me as well. My missus used to go, what are you bringing that for?
Yeah.
So, you had a touchdown briefly on your pro career. So what made you want to go, you weren't really boxing amateur, but you just went straight into the pros?
Well, I think I had an amateur fight as well, I did, and I had a one pro fight and I lost that, and so that was it. But I went in out of shape. I was like, well, I'm not going to even go on about it. I lost that, the amateur I won, and I didn't bother with it. Because I think for me, I never had the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't dedicate.
And it is a sport where you have to dedicate and discipline.
I'm very level-headed like that. And the thing is, I love the sport of boxing. I always used to do it, but I knew I'd never do it because it didn't pay me to go in that direction when I've got families to keep and other routes to deal with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you see a lot of lads can't really decipher that. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be a world champion.
Even when I took the fight, I just got up and went and took the fight. There was no gym. I hadn't trained for 6 months. So I lost the fight because I was unfit.
Yeah.
You know, not because of the fighting part of it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You know, so the thing is, because you can't dedicate, you know, I was not somebody who could get up at 6 o'clock every morning, do running, need to put 3 or 4 hours aside out of my day.
Yeah.
Just not possible. So I did the boxing solely as a hobby and a sport.
But that's the kind of blunt side of the sword about the boxing, because it's that like the viciousness and the discipline.
Sure, yeah.
If you can't make the sacrifices, you know, I know a lot of kids who couldn't make the sacrifices but still carried on with their boxing, knowing that they're not going to go anywhere. They're just probably going to get hurt because they can't make the right sacrifices. They're going into fights unfit.
You have to be to do anything in your life. You've got to be dedicated. You've got to be dedicated, and I was dedicated in other fields.
Yeah,
and it wasn't boxing. And the thing is now, in everything you do, you've got to be committed, you've got to be dedicated, and you've got to have a vested interest. If that's missing, you're not doing it. And for me, when I was younger, I couldn't box because one was giving me 200 quid every 3 to 6 months.
yeah.
And my job was giving me 3 or 5 grand a week.
Yeah, that really balance out.
Not balancing out
Yeah.
for me, is it?
Yeah.
So basically, that's the situation. So, and I was married and stuff like that. So it was just like a bit of a pastime, not like nothing serious for me, because it couldn't be, because you can't rotate your time. It just didn't work for me. The mindset for me was not boxing. It was other things.
Yeah, earning money, sustaining a living for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
How many kids you got, Peter?
6.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How many boys, girls?
I got 3 of each.
Ah, properly blessed.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, properly blessed.
No, I'm blessed with a very good family, that's for sure. And I thank God every day, because without them I wouldn't be sat here. There'd be no boxing, there'd be nothing.
Yeah.
So I credit them for everything, really. You've strong family and family values is everything, because it was a lifesaver for me, for sure. Because without these, I wouldn't be here.
That's right. A lot of us wouldn't.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
us
a
wouldn't.
fact. And it goes right back to my mother and father. Without them, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So they not only they brought me into this world, but they guided me on a path to do what's right. Be respectful, respect people. All the values that most of them didn't sink in at the time.
Yeah.
But they definitely sink in as the years go on.
Oh, don't they? Don't they?
In major.
And then words keep coming back.
Comes back to you,
You were right.
I think about what my old father used to say to me on a daily basis. And I think to myself, how wise was he? If only I would have had the sense to listen to him better. I think we all fit in that category somewhere.
Yeah, my old I just had a flashback. My old coach, proper old school boxing trainer. His nose was like
seen
that.
plenty of them, yeah.
He's grabbed hold of me one night in the gym, Peter, and he said, "You see, you old little bastard." He said, "If I could get my head and put it on your shoulders," he said, "we'd be rich, don't you?" I've looked straight back at him and said, "I ain't never going to look that ugly, John." And he's went, "You idiot." But you see, back then, we think we know it all.
Always, what did they say? Life is lost on the young most of the time.
Youth is wasted on the young. Yeah.
Sorry. Listen, it's nature. It balances itself out. When you get old, you get wiser because you can do less when you get older.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you're more stronger. You're more aggression's there and everything else to go with it. So there's a place for youth and a place for age.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I could get my head around the age bit. I still spar. I still think.
But you're in fantastic shape, aren't you?
I still think.
What a good thing.
I'm 20. I'm coming out of some spars like this. I can't fucking walk. And why am I doing this? But it's the only time we feel alive.
It doesn't matter if you're doing any heavy sport or whatever you're doing. If you get peace of mind from it, it works.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah, because your mental state's got to be first and then physical.
Yeah.
You get the mental right, and whatever it takes to get the mental state right. Physical training always helps. It balances things out. Even myself today, I have to do something every morning.
Yeah.
Every single morning, wherever I'm at, even if I can't get anywhere, I'll maybe have a fast walk around the park or something. I'll do something every day. because it calms me down.
And
Have to
sets
do
you
it.
for the day.
It does.
Definitely. Especially myself personally, I can't. My day don't seem normal. If I have a day off, that rest day, I'm still itching in the morning.
You'll get tense, yeah, and and then anxiety can set in, and all kinds of things set in. So it's not good,
Yeah.
And I learnt all this, especially in the prison days, because I used to get up in the morning, and sometimes I train in them prisons for 4-5 hours a day,
Yeah.
all day, every day, because it made me tired and it made me relaxed. It took a lot of shit off my mind. So it was it's a good thing to train.
Yeah.
Listen, health is a brilliant thing. I don't agree with smoking. I don't agree with drug taking. Nothing like that. If people lived a clean life, they'd do a lot better.
Oh, massively. No alcohol at all.
Yeah, I like a glass of wine now. Oh, well, the odd bottle every now and
A
again.
bottle.
No, listen, on a serious note, Max, I'll sit down and maybe have a bottle every 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it. I can take it or leave it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's good.
I never even started drinking anything. I never touched a wine until I was about 33-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'd only have a glass of socialising, and a lot of the time I didn't like it. It was like vinegar. Because it was like somebody give me some wine, it'd be cheap shit. It'd be like £6 a bottle, It was undrinkable.
Yeah.
But in the later years, yeah, I don't mind a glass of wine. It's sit down now and again.
But do you know what? I've always been like, I don't think there's an alcoholic drink on earth what tastes nice. You wouldn't really, you couldn't, but I don't know what
You've got to get a taste for the wine. You have. So I think if it's good quality wine, and you've got to keep trying wines until you find one you like. People say to me, "Oh, this is brilliant wine," and I taste it and I think, "Oh, it's horrible."
Yeah.
You've got to find one what
suits your palate.
What suits your palate, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The effects of it, though. It's the after effects with me. That's what I don't. I can't get my head around the after effects, Pete, because I was a nuisance when I used to drink. I was an horrible little nuisance. You know what I mean? So that's.
It's better you keep away from it.
Well, look, do you know what? The last drink
you can imagine him getting the drink and the size of him, can't you? Cause chaos. You're better off without it, you are.
Well, the last drink I did have was in there with Peter. He was on the wing, and we was getting that distilled.
Oh
my!
That was paraffin.
Last drink I've ever had.
Horrible.
That put me on for life.
Listen, that ooch in the prisons was like piss in a can.
Yeah. It was.
I don't know how they used to drink it. It was horrible.
But they did.
Yeah.
But they did. Jeez, they did. And I used to think, why are you drinking that? Why? And that was it. It was the last drink I've ever had. That was.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned there a minute ago, Pete, when you was in the jails, and you found the solace in the prison of exercise. When you left that prison, did you carry on? Like, was that discipline? Right, before you went, was your training as disciplined than when you came out?
No, before I went in prison, I didn't do any training. Although I was in the gyms, I used to go and hit the bags and I'd want to spar or something. That was it. So, and don't get me wrong, I know how to box and stuff. I wasn't going in the gyms to learn how to box. We know, but I think a lot of travellers, even back then, I think it's in you. If you can put your hands up, you put your hands up. We was all led that way, especially with having older brothers as well. So I've had the gloves on, even with my brothers from being no age.
Yeah.
So we knew how to fight anyway. But not disciplined, no time, get in there. Probably when we was younger, I'd probably disciplined a little bit better because always in the gyms, nothing else to do. But as soon as I got older, there was no time for any training. So no, I'd say before I went to prison, although I trained on and off quite regular. I wouldn't even disagree with that. I think I've trained all my life going through, but not like competition training. That'd be fair to say.
Yeah.
Trained, but not competition level. Done what I want, when I want, whatever. If I'd been working all day, I'd probably go for a jog at 6-7 o'clock at night, 2 or 3 miles or something, come back, miss a day, do a day, something like this.
Yeah.
Go to a gym 1 week, miss it that week, go to another gym for 2 weeks, miss a week, be all this. always kept my hand in it, but never had the time to do it properly.
But when you got out, your training took a much bigger role in your life.
Definitely. So when I went in prison, then it was a structured situation. So yeah, from day dot really, when I went inside, I started doing training, even in the body exercises in the cells. Because obviously, when I first got locked up, I never seen daylight really. It was exceptional categories and stuff. So I was locked up for 23, 24 hours a day. So I used to just do things in the cell. Mainly to do things in the cell to make myself tired.
Yeah, so you could sleep at night.
So I could sleep and relax. So I used to do that, and then obviously when I got sentenced, I did the gym probably every day, all day, as much as I could.
Yeah.
And then as the time went on, and I got downgraded to single cat A, I think it was, yeah. Then obviously you can move around similar to everybody else. So you're on the systems and try and get gym orderly jobs and stuff like that. So you're in the gym a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always my goal, gym orderly. I didn't really work anywhere else.
No, exactly. That's the only job you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't work anywhere else. Gym orderly. So you've got out, you're back into the training. At what point did you get back into the boxing, like on your trainer's level? And what made you kind of go to be a trainer?
I've obviously, so it was by accident, just by helping my son out. That's all it was. You know, my son, the youngest lad, Hughie.
Yeah.
He was doing some amateur boxing, and I sent him all around the country to other people. I never had the time, you know, and I was up and down and all over. I think at the time I was all over Europe and stuff, and yeah, so I never had the time to mess with it. So he used to do the boxing because the mother with the kids would be mainly here,
Yeah.
and I'd be in Europe, so they'd be here. So he went to boxing gyms and stuff, and yeah, I never really got involved with it until I started helping my son out, because his mum said to me one day, you know, this lad, you know, he really he wants to be with his dad, because every time they was with me, and they was with me quite regular, I'd always have the gloves on with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was training myself every day, because like you said, when you come out of the prison, you're in a routine.
Yeah.
So I trained religiously every day anyway. So every time the family come over to see me, and the boys and stuff, I'd have all the boys training.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And I'd have boxing gloves on, and I'd be showing them how to throw punches and stuff, and this and that. So I enjoyed that aspect of dealing with me kids.
Yeah.
But that's all it was. You know, I was too busy doing other things, so I never had time to resolve around the training whatsoever. So I just help the kids out, and then yeah. And I think every time this lad come over to me, Hughie, let's say, because he's the boxer of the family, when he come over, he'd go back and start winning a few amateur fights. And then I'd say, right, you're on your way again. And then he start losing them again. And he'd come over again and he start winning them again. So he used to say, well...
Right, so you've seen a little pattern now. When he's not training with you, he's losing the fight.
He's starting to lose them.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I don't know what you're doing. And I don't think it wasn't any discredit on where he was or doing with other people. I don't know if the interest was the same. I don't really know. You'd have to ask Hughie what the answer was. He'd have to explain it himself. But I just said to him, I said, right, send him over to me. And I think I was in France at the time. This would be 2009, 2010 maybe, around there, 2008, I can't really remember. Anyway, come over. And I said, right. And he went back, he really started to winning them. He was picking up the wins. And then he just fell off a ledge again and started losing them. So I said, just send him over here. And then it was quite comical, really. It was good education for him. Because at the time, I remember I'd be, the phone would go, and I could be in Bulgaria, I could be in Spain, I could be in Holland, I could be in parts of Europe, could be in anywhere, could be in Bosnia, could be anywhere. Anyway, so he'd have to come with me. So I'd take him with me. I'd arrive. I remember one time I arrived in Bulgaria. I think it was about 7, 8 o'clock at night, drops down and it's snowing. Yeah. And I've got him round the back of the hotel on the car park, padding him up because he's got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'd arrange a fight for him. I think it could be in Bulgaria or Holland or whatever. And I just arranged for him having a boxing match here and there. But everywhere I went, he went with me. So he was fixed there. So anyway, and if I was doing my business, I'd say, right, wait there. To the business, come out, and then start training him. And we just lived like that for a few years, and that's how the story went. So that's basically how I got into training. Was just helping me lad, really.
But when Hughie did turn over, he was recognised very quickly as being very, very skillful, very technically skillful. I remember when he turned over, and it was like a breath of fresh air because with Tyson, Hughie brought the movement back, the fluid. For an heavyweight, his movement was very rarely seen. Not for a long time.
He was a very good amateur. He won the world title. He won the world championships at super heavyweight. He got gold in Armenia. That was a fabulous achievement for him. And then after he won that gold at 18, he turned professional, didn't he? As a young heavyweight. He's only 18 when he turned over, because he's 30 now. So he done well. He was a good amateur. He really did.
What's he doing now?
Yeah, he's back. He's
had one fight back. Where's he going after this?
I think Hughie's got to be the unluckiest fighter on the planet. Because there's nothing wrong with him, but always something wrong with him. Because if he's not the diet, it's something else. I think he spent a lot of time trying to find out what his problems were,
Yeah.
So eventually he got it down. It was always the food with him, being celiac and stuff like that. A lot of things he couldn't accept. Because I remember years ago, he'd have a shake and he'd spew it up. He'd do some training and spew it up. And I'd say, that can't be right, can it? And then he'd some days he'd be trained like a demon, and some days he'd fall off a cliff, powerless.
Yeah.
So obviously, it was the reactions to the food and all this, and all his information levels going for the roof. So it took him a long time to get to grips with it. And then he started eating all the clean food, and he was fine. And then he'd be eating at the wrong times of different foods, because apparently when you're a celiac, it's only minute differences. But the body has got to be nutritioned 100% to have world level training camps.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And celiacs are different, because in the lower intestine, that food's got to generate the nutrition, needs a lot longer to generate. Yeah. So he needs a proper nutritious meal at least 2 hours before he hits the gym. And a lot of it.
Yeah.
Especially the sugar levels. Yeah. So he's got to have a lot of that. And this is what he hasn't, this is what he's learned recently. So it's been a constant process for him. So Hughie's battle hasn't been other fighters in the ring.
It's nutrition.
He's been his own self, getting his body right, his nutrition right, and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
But so far so good. He's on his way back. He's not.
And he's still relatively young.
He's 30. He's got an abundance of talent. He's got an abundance of experience. Once his physicality is right, he's there.
Yeah.
But so far so good. We had an opponent. That opponent fell through. He was due to fight on the 6th, 7th of December on a GBM show. The opponent fell through on that one. So
that was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And now, rather than just get a replacement, get a dog's body, the kid's had 32 fights. He's an amateur world champion. There's no point. There's no point in him treading any more water. He's had 3 fights. So now what we want to do, I was speaking to Mick Hennessy, his manager, and he said, look, Peter, just wait until February, March, and get him in a serious fight. I said, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
That's what he wants himself.
And it will get him up for it as well. Them journeymen sometimes don't really get you up, do they?
No, not for him. He doesn't break sweat over it.
Yeah.
He's been there many times, and he knows he's at a different level than that. So he just goes. Sometimes you just go through the motions.
And that can be dangerous for a fighter. the not getting up for every opponent.
Yeah, look, after 32 fights, whatever he's had, it's time to be in a good fight, and I'm sure he'll get one.
He will. He will. His talent commands it, I think. And he's been patient, really.
Yeah, because you need to be patient, because if you're not feeling right, I've never been one of these to push a fighter in over his head. If that fighter, when you know a fighter, take the sun element out of it. If you've got a fighter and you see greatness in him, and then you see nothing, there's something wrong, isn't there?
Yeah.
So,
but only you will be able to see that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you say, well, how come you like that one day and you like this the other day? So whatever's going on in the physicality body is not going properly. So then it's time to sit back, and that's why he's had a long time out.
Yeah.
To research and get things absolutely right for himself. And he's not the only athlete. I've read about other people involved in cycling and tennis players.
Yeah.
Where they've took time out as well to get it right. I've seen even Hughie said, maybe I should even sack all the sport because it's just not going right. The frustrations of it all.
Yeah.
And he said, because boxing's never been a problem for him, getting gloves on, the ability's always been there, but he's had problems dealing with his own self, getting his body right and dealing with what he can and can't do, and it's the same. So other athletes has had it, there's been books wrote about it, where they've had 2 or 3 years of self, and they've all said the same thing. All these athletes has had problems on about quit, and then they've come back and been phenomenal world champions.
Yeah.
Because you have to get it right. You can't wing anything.
No, not in the fight game.
Not in the fight game.
You can for so long.
For so long. You get exposed. You get found out.
Yeah.
So far so good, and he's got to the bottom of his issues, God willing, and we take it from there. But that's in a nutshell with him, really.
But you've had some brilliant nights through your career. You guided Tyson to, I think, his best ever performance against Klitschko. Savannah Marshall. You've had some cracking nights, haven't you, Pete? It must be so satisfying for yourself, once you've... Because you never started as a trainer.
It's all about helping other people, I think. I think it's that sense of achievement and also making them realise they can reach great heights, and it's just giving that assistance. It's a team effort.
Yeah, definitely.
Without the fighter, there's nothing. But without the right trainers and without the right team, they're nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because you're on the outside looking in. You can see more. And it's all about intelligence, isn't it? And guiding young people to reach the capabilities.
The best that they can be.
The best that they can do.
Yeah.
But I do it as a hobby as well. I do love the sport of boxing. And it's helped change the way I think as well, and it's turned my life around. And all the time I was involved in boxing when I was a young kid, I was out of trouble, and when I wasn't involved in boxing, I got in a whole heap of trouble. So it helps, So it helps. I highly recommend sport, whether it be boxing, whether it be non-combatant sports. It's healthy.
Yeah,
it's healthy.
The only times in my life, Peter, that I fucked up was when I come away from the boxing. Every single time I came away from it, I'd fuck up. Every time. But every time I got back into it and gave the sport what it commanded, my life's just like, this is brilliant. Like, this is how life should be.
It is.
I think that's the magic of the sport, because that magic can touch anybody.
It can, and I think we can all take the wrong paths, but the old sayings are always best, aren't they? You are the company you keep.
Yeah.
You
definitely are.
If you're around criminality, you're going to be in criminality.
Yeah.
If you're around good people, it rubs off. If you're around sporting people, there's no time for no criminality. So it leaves your mind. You just got to be able to jump off them railway tracks. Because when it's going wrong, it's going wrong. And to me, crime don't pay.
Yeah. No, it never pays. It can never pay.
It never paid for me because I've done nearly 10 years inside and another 10 years of hassle.
Yeah.
You know,
In
fighting.
10 years, you could have earned so much money out here.
Fighting court cases. You name it. You know, I've been in trouble for 20 years. It's all a waste of time. It's all a waste of time. It's time consuming for what? Trying to get some paper.
And all you're doing really is earning the government a few more quid. Just being a number on their system. And this is what these young kids...
I think it takes sometimes a long time for the penny to drop. But there's no need for that penny to drop, because people should listen to people with who's been there, worn that T-shirt, and realise it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And listen, and they can say what they want. Oh, it's all right for him. It's all right for him. It's all right for fuck all. We're all the same.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and do silly things.
Yeah.
If you respect people and you're a nice person, the key to getting on in life, when I look back at it, is being able to communicate.
Yeah.
If you're decent with people just say to me, I've had people say to me only recently, oh, back in the day, you know, people knew you in jail and you was a seriously heavy in there, you run it. Load of bollocks.
Yeah.
You've done jail.
Yeah.
We all have.
Yeah.
And, you know, you mentioned to people that I know very well that I've been in there with them, and you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, that don't happen. Nobody's running that system in there.
No. They run their system.
If you are a bully and you're not a decent person, you're getting served properly.
Yeah.
You're getting dealt up. I don't give a fuck if you can pick the building up and throw it on its head. You're going to get dealt with.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
So, respected in the prisons, yes. But that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's a different... There's a difference of people saying, oh, he was running it. No, he was respected in it.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I carried respect in there because I respected other people.
Yeah.
I wasn't an idiot. Somebody's going to come and try and punch me in the mouth. They'd have a rude awakening. Because listen, I trained to fight, so it's not a problem for me, is it? I've been fighting all my life. Yeah. You know, and a street fight's a lot different than a boxing match.
Yeah.
So basically, that, you know, it happens in prisons. We're all getting skirmishes in there. You know, but 9 times out of 10, it was always on a respect issue. You know, and a very dear friend of mine, he said to me, water finds its own level. And how true is that?
Don't it just?
Yeah.
Yeah, water does find its own
level. Because I remember
level.
being all these dispersals, and there'd be only 4, 5, 6 of us socialising together out of 2,000 prisoners.
Yeah.
And I remember a head of security who worked at Full Sutton, and he was like head of security, but a real nice guy. I remember him, and he always used to say hello, how you doing, and he talked to us every time we was passing, him and his wife, just decent people, you know. Anyway, years later, when he retired, you know, he got in touch with me, obviously through the boxing, and this has happened quite a few times over the years since I've been involved in the boxing and stuff, and people remember you from back in the system, and he used to say, you know. And this is what I mean by water finds its own level. He said, Peter, you was a diamond fella in the prison, he says, but there was you and 4 other people with the photographs at the top of security.
Yeah.
As public enemy number 1. He said, because all of you 6 or 5, however many there was congregated, happened to be the main people probably running the whole system throughout the UK, you know. Yeah. And it's just as it happened, because they're all sensible people. You know, you find your own level of people to talk to, don't you?
Yeah, that is definitely
Whether you be training,
there'd
be a certain group of you training every day.
Education, you'd have your own little group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
It was like that. It was like that.
Right, I'm going to start a new chapter here, Peter, because since Ali, I think Ali was the first one to really come out and be vocal in his praise for Allah. Lately, a lot more fighters, and I love it because it's about time it's happened. A lot more fighters are much more vocal and open about their faith now, and they're giving thanks to God a lot more, only in the last 10, 15 years probably, than ever before in boxing. And I know faith's a massive, massive part of your life. How do you feel yourself that a fighter's faith is helping them? Because I know it's done what it's done for me.
It helps everything, because without your faith, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be training the fighters. I don't know what I'd be. I'd be a headless chicken, because your faith is your willpower, is your drive, it's everything.
Yeah.
And when I get up of a morning, my soul to me, I'm making my soul as better as I can make it every single day. I'm trying to do it. So my mission today is pleasing the blessed Lord, not pleasing people.
Yeah.
The blessed Lord comes in my life first and foremost. Every morning, every night before I go to bed, I give thanks to the blessed Lord, whether I have a good day or a bad day or whatever. It doesn't matter. So your faith is everything. And I think a lot of fighters will agree with that. In and out the ring, not just fighters as well. So I think faith for me, my faith has been a lifesaver for me. It's turned my life completely 360 in the right direction.
Yeah. I've always been around, like I was brought up a Catholic, but Christianity now is more what I would believe in. For me personally, Peter, I think the faith it's just given me a calmness about everything and a better understanding about why I'm here and where I need to, not where I need to go, but what I need to do to get where I need to be.
This world is full of smoke and mirrors. People profess the blessed Lord and don't act it. People in government profess the blessed Lord and then go and slay people and murder them and kill them stone dead. They're not people of the blessed Lord at all. So they're not. Because if you believe in the blessed Lord, and I believe in Jesus Christ, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my beliefs. And anybody who believes in God, because Allah for me in Arabic is God anyway.
Yeah.
That's Allah for them is the Father that we call the Father in my Christian beliefs.
Yeah.
And we call Son Jesus, and then the Holy Spirit. That's my beliefs. So whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, you're still a brother and sister to me.
Many roads lead to London. They all lead to the same place.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
So all this divide business, and I've got to say again, on what they're doing to these Palestinians, mate.
It's horrific.
It's horrific. We shouldn't be seeing that. They're crying about what happened about Hitler all them years ago, but yet everybody's silent on this.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking out about it to cause hatred, because there's some very good people, very good Jewish people, very good godly people.
Yeah.
But there's certain people there which is demonic, and that's evil to me.
Yeah, that's right.
That's evil.
Well,
Don't ever profess who's ever doing that and mention God's name with that, because you're a million miles away. This is a dark, dark chapter.
Yeah.
And it's not unnoticed for good people. And I will say that. And people shit themselves. Don't want to speak. Might affect me boxing career. Get your boxing career and go and shove it right up your fucking ass.
Yeah.
Because your faith and standing up for the blessed Lord and speaking the truth, not being afraid, that's my beliefs as a man of the blessed Lord.
Yeah.
Not shitting yourself because you might speak and that door might got shut. Don't fuck your door.
Yeah.
Keep it shut. Weld it shut.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't need it. If there's no Christ in my life, I don't need it.
Because I am dying, you're dying.
Yeah.
We're going in a box. Yeah?
That's the only thing we can be sure of.
Speak. Because when your day comes and you face up to the blessed Lord who knows your soul, why didn't you speak?
Yeah.
You've seen that atrocity happening.
Yeah,
why didn't you speak about it? That's a sin what you did, an unforgivable sin. I don't want to be that man to face the blessed Lord, me maker, and say, I didn't speak because I was worried about this, worried about that.
Yeah.
Take the lot, put me in a field in a tent. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right's right and wrong's wrong.
Yeah.
And to tell the truth, tell it. Because too many people don't tell it. And that's why the world is in such a fucking mess.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of it all.
But like with the fighters now what are coming out professing their faith and how strong it makes them. I don't know, is it just me, but I seem to see a new wave of fighters what have got so much talent because I think they're being guided now by the Lord because they're not afraid to stand up and say...
I hope they are, you know. Look here what's happened the other day. You know, Trump's got in. Everybody should have a Bible in their home. You know, he's saying all the right things.
Yeah.
Talks about Jesus Christ, talks about the blessed Lord.
I see that yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, his actions now has got to back up his words.
That's right.
Let's see him stop this massacre in Palestine. Let's see him stop this Russia with Ukraine. You know, it's all about peace and moving on. You know, stopping all these wars. But look, we've got a president here, powerfulest country in the world, no transgenders, none of this going in women's lavatories. You know, this man is a family-orientated man doing the right things
and he
at
will.
the head of government.
Well,
and please God he does.
There was no wars when he was last in the office.
Listen, the man's been tried to be killed and everything, you know, because everybody wants to live this, they want to keep this perverse way of going on what they've got.
Yeah, they don't want the goodness in the world.
People, especially young people growing up, they need to get back in the churches, read the Bibles in education in schools, because that's the building blocks of life.
Yeah.
And from your religion growing up, get a family, get children up, and instill the same values into them. It ain't rocket science how to grow up to learn to be a good, decent human being, is it?
Human being, yeah. But you see, they're even taking Bibles out of schools now.
Because of why? Because, you know, because you got people at the top somewhere that's got no interest in faith. And a lot of these people, they have all these secret meetings. They're demonic, these people, a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, you got people in societies that's not only atheists, but they're on the dark side.
Yeah, they're actually demons.
I'm not going to name who they are because I don't know who they are. It would be wrong for me to call anybody, but that happens.
Yeah.
We've got an underworld and an undercurrent of good and evil. But goes back to biblical times. That's what we've got, because when you study the Bible, it says you're given a free will here today to choose good and bad.
Yeah.
You can choose bad and remain with it, and then you'll remain dark, and that's you. You sold your soul to that. Or you can find your own free will and do good things. And good things is all about, for me, is the blessed Lord, family life, and being good with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, and breaking bread with people. What nicer thing, we're having a conversation here today. We're having a cup of coffee. We're having a bit of food. Listen, that's the building blocks of life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And respecting people.
That's your footings.
Yeah, respecting people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
you will only get back what you give up.
You're not better than anybody. I don't care if you're a superstar. I don't care if you're a trillionaire. You're not better than anybody.
No.
You're not better than that fucking dog on the floor.
Yeah. It's probably better than us.
Exactly. This thing's innocent and loves it and loves people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're not anybody. Be a good person and then you're everybody.
That's right. Yeah.
If you want to be everything, be good.
It's nice to be good.
Exactly. It costs us nothing, does it?
And it's bad to be bad. But do you see...
I'm talking from somebody who's done all the bad things.
Yeah.
Done everything. I'm not trying to be Mr. fucking righteous. I've been the worst man under the sun.
Peter,
I might go up to Jesus Christ and say to me, you're not even going to get to see me. You're going straight down there.
Yeah.
But I'm still turning my life around. Whether I get accepted or not. Because being a good soul for me outweighs every kind of bad.
Yeah. And trying to be as good as I can be.
Exactly.
You know, the best version of me possible is what God's given me strength to be since I've turned it all around. I think God's just made everything easy for me, Peter. It just feels like everything falls into place, and it can't not be God. It can't not be God. You know, for my life to be the way it is now.
You know, the power of prayer is an amazing thing because it's just you. It's you with your inner thoughts. And, you know, and you're praying to the blessed Lord about various things. And no matter who you are, you've all got issues. We've all got issues. Or small or big.
Yeah.
You know, what we regard small, others regard big. What we regard big, others regard small. But for you, as they say, you're carrying your own cross.
Everyone has a cross.
And the thing is, you know, the power of the prayer in yourself, and, you know, it's a very powerful thing. And the more you pray, the more you read, the more you take time out for the blessed Lord, the more stronger you become.
That's perfect. It's definitely right, though. Definitely right. The strength it gives you is phenomenal. But we're going to, I know you've got sparring in a bit. We're going to have a cut.
12, oh, you're okay, because I ain't got sparring until I think 12:30. So I've got plenty of time for you.
Lovely.
Come up all this way.
All right.
I've got plenty of time for you.
We'll leave that for a bit.
You're a man of my own, right? You've been to prison. You know that you've treaded the same walks as me. So
We've swam the same pool.
there you are. So, mate, listen, always welcome here.
Yeah, so you're between here and Bolton with the training all the time.
Not Bolton, where we had Bolton years ago in 2014 to 2017, 18. And then we moved to Congleton in Cheshire.
Congleton,
so that's where the gym is now. It's actually my son's gym. He built it, Hughie. So he's got his own facility down there. And the other fighters come down, they train there when we're doing the boxing. But yeah, it's in Congleton in Cheshire.
That's a good old drive up from here, isn't it? 3 hour?
Well, I've got places down there to stay. So when I go down there, I usually go down Sunday night or early Monday morning. And I stay down there till Thursday stroke Friday.
Oh, you said, yeah. So it makes life easy for you.
Yeah.
Where would you prefer it up there, obviously, for the training, with all the boys, Hughie and all the lads there?
Yeah, but, I've only got a select few fighters and they'll come with me. The next training camp's going to be in the south of France. So I'm going to go over there and we'll kick off that in January.
Why? A lot of fighters now are just taking their camps. They always have done, really. But just for the average Joe, why do fighters go to the warmer climates for their camps now, Peter?
Well, sometimes in the winter it's very cold here. You're open to colds and stuff like that and infections. So there is that. And the warmer climates, they train at altitude and stuff. That works for them. So everybody's got different reasons. And I think one of the main reasons fighters get away, because when you're in a training camp and you're away from all environments, it can be family, it can be anything, you're focused. Yeah. And that'll probably be a main part of it as well.
Takes all the distractions away.
Takes the distractions away, and and it allows you to go deeper and deeper. How far can you go in your boxing? It's all of this. It's about building mental strength as well as physical strength as well.
Yeah, the mental side of it.
As I say, if you want to build up and be the best at mentally things, do without. Marvin Hagler said a famous saying, try and get up at 4 a.m. and run in silk pyjamas.
He's my guy.
Yeah, serious fighter.
He was my guy.
He used to put himself in prisons, didn't he?
Every camp. Out in the old hotel. Where was it?
So what does that tell you? It tells you that, don't get carried away with worldly things, because what you're really trying to achieve eludes you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and he used to put himself through some hell, didn't he?
That's true, he did.
It was an old derelict hotel.
There's been some great men in boxing, and that's why I really like the sport, because when you see what they got to go through, and I'm up personal and close with boxing, I've seen blood and snot, and I've seen wars in them, even in sparring in the gyms, and you see what the fighters have to go through.
Yeah.
And it's not just one spar, it's 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it's brutal. They need physio, sometimes they're in there, they can't move, they've got to be stretched out, you can hear them screaming.
Yeah.
Where they're black and blue, and where all the blood's congealed in the muscles, like, they're squealing,
Yeah.
And, and it's all part of the course, and this is what they've got to go through. It's mentally and physically breakdown. It's a hard game, this.
And it can break you down, either physically or mentally, if you don't, if you like you said earlier, if you haven't got the right team around you, Peter, it's probably the hardest.
Well, listen, for sure. We all learn, and we all learn things as time goes along. But now it's a case of, you can train brutal, you can do whatever you want. So there's one thing training hard, but you've got to train smart.
Yeah. Because
if you don't train smart and you train hard, you're putting yourself through the floor.
That's right.
So there's a lot of knowledge involved in boxing, in any sport at world level.
Yeah. It's a science. It's truly a science.
Sit here and go on all night the things you've got to do, and the things that we work on. No camp's the same. Every day's different.
Yeah.
Every
opponent's different.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of pleasure with young fighters, and sometimes I can look at a fighter and they'll spar and I'll tell them to do stuff and it's just not happening. It just doesn't happen. But for me, being experienced, I know it's not going to happen.
But it will in time.
But it will.
Yeah.
But it will because what I'm telling them to is not penetrating, so I'll come at it from another way. Yeah? So then you work on the hands, and if the hands just not happening, then we'll work on the legs. Because everything's from the legs anyway.
Yeah.
So we work on stuff like that. And then sooner or later, you go back up to the top, back down to the legs, back up to the top, and the fighter starts getting in a groove, getting in a defence, reminding them, pull the jab back. When you throw the jab, don't pull it back here, pull it up. You know, sometimes it'll take a young fighter 2 or 3 months.
I wish someone told that to Joshua before Dubois.
Yeah, and then they get it. But there's a lot of stuff like this. And in boxing, listen, you just said a right thing. You can't pretend in boxing.
No.
And I've got some news for you. And trainers can't fucking pretend to be great trainers either.
No, you're bang on.
So let me tell you that.
You're bang on,
that
Peter.
Happens. And listen, I don't want to be regarded. I don't want to be known as anything. What I do want is respect from me fighters and respect for what I do for the sport.
Yeah.
Because I'll speak out. And that's why my phone doesn't ring a lot. Because a lot of these, in this game, there's a lot of clowns in it.
Fickle.
Exactly. And I can't be fucked with people like that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy in my own little circle, dealing with the fighters. Yeah. And that's my thing. Getting the fighters where I want them to be.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the politics. I'm not interested in a medal. Not even a pat on the back. I don't need zero. I just need them fighters to do well and succeed. And that's it. Because the fighters are ultimately, they're the ones that need all the adulation. They need all the credit because they're the ones getting punched in the mouth, not you.
Do you take any fighters to worship?
No, because they should do that themselves. My son Hughie, obviously, he's a big Christian. The blessed Lord is his life.
Yeah, lovely.
He's a better person than I was when I was young. He does a lot better. He's a better living human being than his father ever was. Yeah. So.
But that's down to you yourself, Peter.
Yeah, you know what you don't do, you put into your kids.
Yeah.
And hopefully they do better than you.
Yeah.
And that's all about it. You want your kids to be better than you, don't you?
Yeah.
And you know, I can't fault him as a human being and a son. So I'm very, very happy with the way he is. I don't care if he can box or not box. Don't matter to me.
He's a good man.
He's a good person.
Yeah.
And that's above all things for me. So he does that well, and I'm happy there. And I'm sure other fighters, they need to do. You know, everybody. I think everybody should believe in the blessed Lord. And those who don't, then they don't. That's it. So for me, the blessed Lord is everything. Material things are what we can see now. But there's a lot of stuff.
Not coming in the box with us.
No, there's 100 years ago what the things that you didn't believe was possible.
That's right, yeah.
But are possible now.
Yeah.
50 years ago, me and you would have said, that's impossible.
Who's going to put a train under the British Channel? Impossible.
So that's what I'm saying to you. So 50 years ago, things would have been, out of our own mouth, that's impossible. Now it's possible.
Yeah.
So don't ever, people think that because you got a soul and your feelings and you don't think there's an afterlife, that it's impossible. Because you, as it says in the Bible, you are blind and you are deaf. And deafness and blindness, when you can speak and when you can hear, then it becomes ignorance.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because for people who want to believe what they can see and believe in that fiver, you're stupid. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
For somebody who's educated in worldly life, that's my view on it. Because if you can see and you can hear, and you're saying that's not possible, I'm not believing in anything, then there's ignorance being in play.
Yeah. Yeah. Great way of looking at it, that is.
But somebody who's genuinely deaf and dumb,
Well,
they're genuinely deaf and dumb, they're born that way.
and they've probably
got faith deeper than...
they're probably closer to God than we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
But when you can see and when you can hear and they're shut and that's blind, then what is it?
That's right, yeah, you're just ignorant.
Then
You're
there's
just
ignorance
ignorant or
involved.
thick.
Yeah, well.
There's only two.
And they're going to
There's only
find out.
two things you can be, ignorant or thick.
Let me tell you something. When I wake up every morning and I see the light outside,
Thank God.
I see God's blessed me.
Yep.
When I see dark and I go to bed and shut my eyes, I think, pray to God, all my family's good. Please let there be another day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. There's a couple of sayings I've kind of took under my wing, Peter, and I think you'll understand this. With the life I've led, I have to thank God for letting me wake up every day. I shouldn't even be here, Peter. I've been shot, I've been stabbed 11 times, and the places I was stabbed in are not your average places. I'm still here. I've been blessed so deeply, but I say to a lot of people, if only you could understand the violence to get me to this peaceful place.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't understand, Peter. You know, it's like, what are you talking about? And it just goes straight over the top.
But you've missed life where really you should be dead.
Yeah.
But there's a purpose for you. You know, I've had similar to say myself, although I've never been stabbed, thankfully. Nobody's tried. I can't remember anybody trying to stab me. Actually, to be fair, but I've been shot at point blank range, and sometimes it's not gone off, or sometimes it's gone off, and the gun's so powerful they've not held hold of it properly, and it's gone like over there.
Yeah.
But
thank God.
At the end of the day, you're meant to be here. Something's not happened.
Yeah.
You know, I've had everything.
You're here for a reason.
Yeah, I've had everything. I've even had people pay money to come and try and deal with me and all sorts. So
they didn't have enough.
Basically, maybe I could run too quick. Maybe I'm a lot fitter than you think.
They didn't have enough money, Pete.
Maybe I can dodge up and down a little bit quicker. What do they say? Foresight is knowledge.
Yeah.
If you see a train coming, move. Yeah.
Just fucking move.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely a reason for me every morning I wake up. I've got to thank God.
Because it comes down to this. Sometimes in a young man's growing up, you've got to go through hardships to understand. You know, and it's like years ago when we'd have, we could be having a straightening with somebody, and beforehand, I fucking hated the sight of him, really, But we'd have a fight, punch the shit out of each other for 5 or 6 minutes or 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it may be, yeah? And then afterwards, and you shake hands, you really got a different view.
Yeah.
And you really respect that person.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself,
whichever way the fight goes.
Why did I even think that way about that fella?
Yeah.
But he's punched all my face in. I've got black eyes and everything. But at the end of the day, I respect that person.
You're going to have a cup of coffee and a
listen, sometimes we've had fights with people when I was younger. We're friends today.
Yeah.
Years later.
Yeah.
So what does it tell you? No knives involved.
Nah.
Not trying to get somebody to the floor and jump all over the top of his head and put him in hospital.
Yeah. No. And that nothing bonds two men like a fight.
Exactly. Because you think you can have a fight. He thinks he can have a fight. Well, have a fight then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to many places and I've been in company and trouble's kicked off. And they're both starting and I've gone, look, why don't you just behave and sort it out? No. I said, okay, we're not talking anymore. Get out there now and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah? They got out there, smack, whatever they're doing, a minute, whatever they've had, shake hands. And the next thing, they're all eating food together, happy as Larry talking. And years later, they're the best of friends.
Beautiful.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be on the street with all these young kids going up and down using knives and killing each other.
Definitely.
Listen,
Yeah.
Them kids has got a mother and a father.
And brothers and sisters.
Look what it's done to that family.
Yeah, the whole family. Both families.
For what?
The kid what's been stabbed.
Well, his life's ruined because the kid who stabbed him, where is he now doing a life sentence?
And the family's doing the sentence with him.
Exactly.
Because they've got to visit every fortnight, they've got to send money. They're just serving that. It's not really the kid what serves the sentence.
It's a disaster for the victim and it's a disaster for the one perpetrating the crime.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just a waste of life.
What a stupid way of life. If you've got a problem, they should sort it with them, their hands.
Yeah.
Or whatever they want to do, like that. But when somebody's had enough, let them have enough.
Yeah. I think it should be made legal, like street fights now. I think they should be legalised now to make kids come away from the knife crime and the gun crime. Because not one part of it makes any sense to me, Peter. They're running around with guns and knives, and you see, this is probably why, with myself personally, I copped it. Because I'd never be tooled up, and they always knew, well, he ain't going to be tooled up because he always likes to tear.
But not only do I not believe in any of that, but the thing is, when I was young, I couldn't trust myself. Because if I had a gun around me, and I've been in situations in the past, I'd have used it and shot every fucker in sight.
Yeah.
I'd have probably mowed down 10 people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you know yourself.
But I know myself, I'm not to have a weapon like that. Do you understand?
And you don't need
when
it.
I was younger, in the situations I've been in, I'd have pulled it out and said, right, bump, bump, bump. I probably got myself 10 life sentences.
Yeah.
So I would never have a gun. It's the same with a knife. I'd never have a knife when I was younger because not only did I believe it was wrong anyway, I just wouldn't have it. Because if you're in a dire straight position, you'll use these type of things. So if you just refuse all of that, and I've gone through my life similar to you, I've never carried a gun, I've never carried a weapon of any kind in my life. So people should have that philosophy and mindset.
Yeah.
You know?
It gives a different mindset when you know you're not carrying weapons. You're not going, because for me, I've always been that. Well, if I carry it, I'm going to get it. Do you know? And it's like, what do I need it for? Why would I ever want to carry something?
Well,
like
you
that?
don't, dear. And I think with the younger population today, and I think, look, there's a lot of bullies up and down in young kids, isn't there?
Yeah.
People
all these
do
computers
things and they say things or whatever, you know. And it's good to have self-defense, because if somebody's picking on you when you're young, you got to be able to defend yourself, and you're helping the person anyway. Because if they get a good smack in the mouth, they're not bullies any longer, are they?
No, that's right. But you see, we're living in an era of keyboard warriors. But you know, people want to put things on that on the social medias, but they don't want to knock a man's door and have a tear up. They don't want to knock the man's door and say, I have a problem with you. Come out here and let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, look, I can't see the sense in a lot of it now.
Well, that's how it should be. Listen, don't talk behind a man's back if you're not prepared to say it to his face.
That's right.
So even if you don't like somebody, don't talk behind the back, because if you know, there's always two sides to a story.
Yeah.
For number one, and secondly, don't be prepared. If you want to say something, say it to them.
Yeah, and be prepared for the backlash.
And be prepared for the backlash.
And do you know what I've always said, Peter? You have to walk in another man's shoes to know the man. You know, you can't never judge unless you not be judged. You know what I mean? You can never judge what's in a man's head or in life.
You know, I respect everybody. I respect everybody in all walks of life, all religions. I respect all people, because that's what we're here to do.
Mm.
And the thing is, that's the mentality, and that's the message we got to put out there. It's all about respecting other people. But ultimately, when you go to bed, the same heart is pumping in your body that's in theirs.
That's right.
We're the same human race. We're all brothers and sisters because we're all of this generation.
Yeah.
From the 1900s to the end of this century, we're all fucking dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're all living in the same space. We are all brothers and sisters today living on this planet because we've inhabited it at the same era.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, let's respect each other and get along and stop listening to these people at the top warmongering for devious things.
Yeah. For their
There's no godly purpose at the back of what they're doing. There's none.
No. Couple of faves, Peter.
Yeah.
Favourite fight.
Oh my God, there's been so many. Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns. Jesus.
That's the right hand getting thrown there. And that toe.
I'm not far on that line. So you got that one. There's been some tremendous fights, hasn't there? When I think about it. I used to love watching Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, phenomenal.
The way he could box, punch, do everything.
Yeah.
The man was a phenomenon. Obviously, I grew up with Muhammad Ali. You know, I love that fella. Everything he does in the ring, outside of the ring, more so outside of the ring than what he achieved in it.
Definitely. You know, yeah, definitely.
Brilliant human being.
Yeah.
You know, such a man that aspires generations. Will never be forgot. This man will live on forever.
He changed the world for white people as well as black people. He was.
This man, this man, although he was heritage, Jamaican, whatever heritage he was, he had white friends over here in the UK.
Yeah.
This man was a multi-millionaire, high society, and he'd come over to council houses over here and spend a week with his pal.
Yeah.
That's the type of man he was.
Yeah.
Man wasn't about material shit.
And he had a bit of paddy in him.
And he valued people.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing.
He gave
He's
them
a very godly man, Muhammad Ali. He was a very godly person. And, you know, it showed.
Yeah.
Listen, bright light shines. Darkness is darkness. It doesn't do anything. Light is everything. And he produced a ton of light.
Massively.
He's a great man.
In 212, Peter, I was on bail for my case. And it was a bit of it was a Friday evening. I came back from doing my classes at the gym. And I was on a curfew from 10 till 6. I had to be in my house at 10 till 6. Then I've got home. I'll never forget the dinner, what was put in front of me as well. It was a fish dinner, a fish pie.
Why did you remember that?
Because the whole night just went crazy. From she put the dinner down,
Yeah.
and I was starving. When my phone's gone, and it's Simon Thompson, this lad in Northampton owns nightclubs. He's about as far away from fucking boxing as you'll ever get. And he said, "How are you, mate?" I said, "All right, bro, what's happening?" He said, "I've got a bit of work for you tomorrow." "What's that?" He's went, "Looking after Ali." "Peter, I've got my phone." Stop, put the phone down. Started on my food. I didn't even answer him. I just went,
"Yeah, full of shit, you."
Idiot. 2 minutes later, the phone's gone again. Simon, and I was in two minds whether... What? And he's went, "Sean, I'm serious, mate. You want to look after Ali for the week?" I said, "Simon, I'm just about to eat my food. If this is shite talk, trust me, I'm coming to your door." He only lived round the corner. I said, "I'm coming to your door." And he's went, mate, this ain't shite talk." I said, "Simon, don't get me out. I said, "What Ali are you talking about?" He went, "Muhammad Ali." I went, "I'm glad we're on the same page." I said, "But Simon, please, mate, don't." So I've got to be down at the Hilton Hotel in Park Lane for 4 o'clock the next morning, to take over from the G4S. He always stayed in the Intercontinental, Ali did. Pete, the next week of my life, I've never had emotion. I've never felt prouder of... The week was just the craziest week. I got to change his shoes. I was lifting him in and out of the wheelchair. I was like,
you've been blessed to be that close with the family.
Oh, Peter, it was like the craziest week. I'll show you the pictures when we finish. But it was like, I'm getting asked to change his shoes.
Yeah.
I was bawling. I was bawling, Peter. When we did that at the V&A, I was in tears. I was in proper tears. That man's aura. I'll tell you what else got me as well. This really got me. We were asked to bring him in. Lonnie said, "Can you bring him in the chair to the table and take him from the chair and put him into his seat at the table?" And Lewis Hamilton was opposite, and I went to put my hand around that man's chest. His lungs must have been that big. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Because I said to Simon, "No, I'll be all right getting him in and out of the chair." I thought, I need Simon. Yeah. Wow, the size of his chest, his lungs must have been unbelievable. And that matched with his athleticism. You know, what an athlete. Because I truly believe God put Muhammad Ali on earth not for boxing. Boxing was his vessel to be the man he was, I think.
Like I said, he was such a great man inside and out the ring. Nothing but adoration for him. You know, I think he's one of the greatest men that's ever lived.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Right, favourite fight. So we've gone to that. Favourite fighter. You've already answered that, I think.
I don't think anybody comes close to Ali, although there's some very, very good fighters out there. You know, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey. You can go on and on and on. You know, Rocky Marciano. You know, there's so many. You know, all of the good fighters. There's the Charles.
Langford.
I
used to like Sam Langford.
There's so many, isn't there?
Yeah.
When you look back at them. Harry Greb as well. Back
Harry
in the day.
Greb, Will o' the Wisp,
Yeah.
Willie Pep,
Graziano as well.
Graziano. What's
So
an art,
many.
man?
There's so many, isn't there? And even the later ones, Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis.
I think Lennox is very, very underrated, you know.
I don't know why he is, because he was. You've only got to look at his achievements and the achievements he made. This is a fella that done very well, fought his way up, had a world title, had major setbacks, got knocked out in a round.
Yeah.
Badly knocked out, And what you got to look at is how this man's managed to come back and do the damage and be able to improve the level of concentration he had to go through, the mindset he had to put himself in to get himself to that next level. So he needs maximum respect for me as what he did in his career, because it wasn't all a bed of roses for him.
No.
And he fought everybody as well. He fought a lot of good fighters.
Some great fighters when they were at their best.
Exactly. So Lennox Lewis, he's definitely in that category as an all-time great fighter for sure.
Yeah. Favourite film?
I love films, but again, there's too many, isn't there? I like all the Gladiator films, and I like all the Troy films and all that type of stuff. I like all that because it's back in the biblical days. I like old films as well. I like black and white.
Spartacus.
You love that.
That's the film,
watch
isn't
it
it?
every year. But all these type of things, what we grew up with, I watch them and I watch them over again.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of the old black and white stuff. I love films. I like all kinds of films as well. They can be love stories as well. Notebook was a very good one. You can go on. There's loads of. I can watch anything. The odd comedy film, anything. If it's good, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's good, you'll sit and watch it.
If it's good, just sit and watch it. There's been some brilliant films, hasn't there?
But there's been some films I'll put on and I'll turn off within 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, they're not in your memory bank, are they?
No, I don't know if they were good or bad. I never got to the end.
No, the good ones, they last.
Your favourite holiday destination?
I don't really regard as a holiday. A holiday for me is not sitting down and doing nothing and looking through the window or reading a book. A holiday for me is, I don't know, I don't have holidays. I have a way of life. And but I like going away. If you want to class that as an holiday, it probably is. But I don't regard it as an holiday. I'm always going somewhere to do something.
Yeah.
Like that.
There's a reason for you being there.
There's a reason for me being there. So, but it is an holiday at the same time, I guess. And I like going to places because I think it keeps you fresh. I think movement and going to places, well, that's why all people need holidays. We all need a break. So I think, but for me, it's not so much as a holiday, because when I go away, I'm always doing stuff, planning next boxing camps, whatever it may be, stuff like this. So there's always something going on.
Okay. This always gets them. Favourite food?
Favourite food? Well, I love food, as you can tell. So I'm a big food man. So I like all types of food. The only food I don't like is the food that I've got allergies with. So no white meat, no chicken, no poultry, nothing like that. No pork. And but the rest of it, fish, red meat, vegetables, and healthy food. I like all of that.
So what are we going with? Bit of fillet steak or something?
I like red meat, love a Sunday dinner, love traditional food. So yeah, traditional food, I'd say.
Traditional.
Yeah.
Peter Fury, it has been an absolute pleasure.
A pleasure to see you, Sean.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Good questions as well. And a pleasure to see you as well. Pleasure.